was a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. So up to 144,000, go down to the rest of the 1/3. Men, women, and children, whom the Lord will have mercy on these last days. It's Brother Yum Yum Yard, GMS Mississippi. Back at you with another in transit. Just going into various topics. Just hitting the button. Basically and you've been warned, you Israelites. They may come across the channels, come across the camp. You've been warned. Hey, the Lord have spoken, and He told through His prophets you what will come, man. What's coming. As far as this devil coming down with the wrath, the great wrath, because his time is short. He saw he gonna just show his horns. As you can see, this place is getting more and more divided. You got these damn devils showing their horns, man. Which Jake, and you trusting in your enemy. That the scripture tell you not to do, man. You're going out. You're going out. Secret places with them. Outside of the public eye. And what's happening? Well, these damn Edomites. They putting Jake to death. They're putting Jake to death, whether it be by hanging from a tree, drowning, a mere beating. However see fit. Ultimately it's Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah, because you was told not to trust this damn devil, man. But ultimately, again, it's the judgment from Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah, man. Because Jake is wicked, man. The scriptures say desperately wicked, man. Jake don't want to hear. Thus said Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah. They don't want to hear anything from the prophets. Jake think they got it all figured out, but it's gonna come to pretty soon. Which the Lord is revealing it now, but it's gonna be on a grand level, a higher level. The rate of unalivings is gonna come into earth, particularly here in Babylon the Great. Because you got to understand, there is prophesied Jacob's trouble. A time like none other. There's prophesied a time like none other, which is scripture calling it the worst time in history, man. So a lot of Jake is gonna be left out there without a hedge, and they're gonna turn and trust in what? They're gonna trust in the swords, ultimately, even when that grain size implementation, the CHIP, RFID, when it's made mandatory, Jake is gonna go down to Egypt for help. Because they don't trust the Holy One of Israel, man. But that's gonna be to their ruin. So let's get a couple precepts real quick. See, we've been called to trust in the Lord, man. To basically look back at the generations of old, man. See, did any ever trust in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah was forsaken? We've been called into the faith to be proved faithful. Lord willing, if we are the elect. chapter 28, and verse 8. And the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. That's right, and we prophesied what? The third world, the third world war. Which is gonna go nuclear. It's gonna go nuclear, man. This one here, it's gonna be the war to end wars. With the intervention of Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is gonna come and put down these armies, man. Who's gonna try to come up against him in the heavenly host, but will not prevail. Pursuant to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Also, Revelation 19th chapter. Many chapters, man, going into how the Lord's going to return, man. Isaiah 66:15. You got that one in a while. But hey, the world ain't ready. Hey, but ain't ready or not, Yahweh Shai is coming. Ready or not, Yahweh Shai is coming. And there's nothing that can be done to offset his coming, nor prolong his return, man. Because it's a set time when those troops goes into those birth pains, right? They're intensifying and intensifying, and these prophets, it's like these prophecies are increasing, intensifying one after another, until what? The cracking of the clouds, man. Until that day, Yahweh Shai comes as a thief, in which the world gonna be taken unaware, including 2/3 of our people. See, because from the get-go, we understand that Yahweh Shai ain't saving these damn heathens, man. These heathens, they going into captivity. While 2/3 of our people who are in the spirit of heathens, they're going to the spirit world. See, cause they gotta be rebirthed and come back in their right minds, man. Right? Because right now, the way 2/3 operate, and if they continue, because the 2/3 is going to continue to be a 2/3, there's no chance of salvation. Why? Because they didn't let Yahweh Shai enter. Right? They were what the scripture coined as called the unfaithful. As the scripture goes in two ways, the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms. That's right. And you got prophets prophesying right now the downfall of Esau, which coincides with America, man. The main hub over here, that North Country. That have been so, they have done wickedness, man. Whose wickedness have reached into the heavens. Whom Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to make desolate. Hey, because the Lord is fed up with this place. Scripture say, hey, how this wickedness have exceedingly polluted the earth. This wicked, man. Have exceedingly polluted the earth, man. So therefore, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to rid it out of the earth. You know, Esau Edom, we understand, gonna be taken out after the 1,000 years of harsh captivity, man. And the building up of our walls, you know, building up Jerusalem. It's a lot. Alright, y'all, I forgot what I was, but anyway, yeah, the point I was making was, yeah, these people ain't ready. As a thief in the night, Yahushua is coming. And guess what? The majority of our people, they don't know the character. They don't know how Yahushua coming. They don't know that he's coming angry, man. Yahushua is coming to throw Edom down, subdue these nations, save his people, but at the same time bring destruction, bring judgment. You know? They thinking Yahushua is bringing peace. Yahushua ain't bringing peace. Yahushua is bringing destruction, man. He bringing the sword, man. Yahushua is coming right along with judgment. That's why he bringing the armies, man. The angelic force. You know, he's going to combat these militaries again. Going back to 2 Ezra 13th chapter. That's going to what? Be so afraid, but there's fight. You know, so they're gonna attempt to go there with Yahushua. You know, but. Hey, scripture say, well, there was nothing left to be perceived but the smell of dust and the smell of smoke. So these people, they're gonna be obliterated, man. You know, going into that where that chariots gonna cast out them lightnings, you know, and concentrated fire, the spark, the tempest. It's like, I don't want to butcher that. Chapter. Yep. Verse 10. We started at verse 9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. So Yahushua is going to be using his mind, you know, along with the chariots, you know, to fight these militaries, man. Along with that spiritual power, man. Yahushua said what? He would not meet thee as a man. So, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they all fell together. A blast of fire, flaming breath, and a great tempest. And fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only the dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Yeah, so yeah, man, they gonna try to go there with Yahushua, you know, but they won't be able to stand a chance. They won't stand a chance. You know, and then this is prophesied, and this is biblical prophecy. This is what they've been told. They are being told what's going to play out before it actually does, man. And there's nothing that can stop it. Yep. Yahushua is going to use these militaries, these men, right? Whoever was in the military at the time, and wherever they at in the Middle East, you know, in the Valley of Yehoshaphat, right? The Most High's judgment. Hey, yep, they're gonna be controlled. Because the scripture goes into it. Hey, how man's goings of Yahweh Shemel Shah, and how the Lord basically controlled the mind of men. So the Lord is gonna put it in their minds to attempt to fight him, man. You know? And the Lord is going to show you his power. The Lord is going to show his power, man. At the same time, disarming the earth. See, because, hey, that's how people go out throughout the earth anyway, conquering it. And especially Esau, taking lands. through his military, man, through his military might. But that's going to be a thing of the past. It says, after it saw I, the same man, come down from the mountain, which is his chariot, right? Because his chariot is likened unto a mountain. But as it say, he couldn't see where, he couldn't see the end of it, you know, from where it began, you know. And called unto him another peaceable multitude. That's right, this is going into the 1/3. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, and some of them were bound, and others were brought of them that were offered. Then I was sick through the great fear, and I asked, and said, and I awakened, and I asked, and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy, that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Yeah, as was asked the interpretation of the dream. So yeah, the word ain't ready. You know, they could try to do their bomb shelters, underground doomsday bunkers and shit. Well, if your doomsday underground bunker is here in America, you're through. Either way it goes, you know, you're through. But here, especially here in America, you're gonna be destroyed. Right? The only thing making it out of here, the only people making it out of here is the elect or the chariot. It's gonna be ground zero for those thermonuclear missiles when they are shot off in the ends of the earth. Arrows spoken about in second is the 16th chapter, Jeremiah, Isaiah the 13th chapter, Second Peter, you know, so forth and so on. Yeah, but if you outside of America, Europe, banker families, you know, with your $1 million bunkers, $100 million bunkers, how much ever you pour into them, you know, well, you just got you basically an expensive holding cell, man. Got you an expensive holding cell. See, because don't doubt for a second that you're going to captivity. You're going to captivity. That said, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That said prophecy. Prophecy is never, prophecy don't take the back seat. You hear me? Prophecy always driving. And that was another lesson. I think we went into that Monday or last week. Yeah, man, prophecy's always driving, man. Because no matter what, everything is summed up with the return of Yahushua. That what? The kingdom that will never be left to another, given to another people. A world without end. You know? Hey, Lord willing, we make it. Just want to make it, man. But yeah, Lord willing, it's been edifying. Give all praises. I'm in there. Give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles. And elders of Ray Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom and Abba Ball.